Alright, welcome everybody. I'm the Heroically Average Gamer. Welcome to the first episode of the Ottawa Senators rebuild here in NHL 20 GM mode. Gonna start out a little fun. This is from my Twitch streams. I'm about 9 years in on my Twitch streams. A link will be in the description below if you want to check them out live, but this is just an edited down version of my first stream, my first year. We're gonna tackle the Ottawa Senators and how they progress and try to get them into a champion team. We're trying to do this kind of realistic. We're not going to try to screw over the computer much. This is what the team looks like. There's Kachuk, Tierney Brown on the first line, Declare, White, Ryan, Howard, Asimov, Boddicker, Callahan, Ryan, and Sauron on the fourth. We're going to do gonna make some moves. That's, of course, Shabbat, Zaitsev, Hainsey, Riley, Bobrovsky, and Yaros. On defense, we're going to try to upgrade. We're going to try to get rid of some of these older players for picks or prospects. And we're just going to try to build a team into a winner. There's, of course, Craig Anderson there. And Anders Nielsen has his backup. Not great. Anderson's pretty solid. Pekka, Balsers, and Batherson are our scratches. So, a lot of holes. Not a lot of depth. Got a good foundation of youth of Batherson, Brown, of course, Shabbat, Kachuk. So we're just going to use that foundation and try to build off. And here we're looking for, I think, a defenseman. A veteran defenseman. And we find one in an old former Sen, in Dion Phaneuf. So we're just going to offer him a contract here. A little physical. Still decent. 79 overall. Probably not as fast as he once was. But just a little anchor there in the back in the defense. Won't make a lot of money. And not that it matters because we're way, way under cap. As we will be for a bunch of years to come. So it should be a fun little adventure. So we're just going to check out the contracts here. Of course, Shabbat is signing that deal. Ryan's making a shit ton of money, but it's only for about 3 years. We won't have salary cap issues until then. Making the floor will probably be our bigger issue in the first few years. Boddicker, Hainsey, Tierney, Brown, they're all free agents. Boddicker and Hainsey are UFAs. So those are probably two guys we're going to try to get rid of, maybe to get something for them. Pekka's a UFA, but not a really big deal. If we keep him or not. Borderline NHLer at best. Howard looks at the RFA. Of course, Bobrovsky is a UFA. So check out the rest of the team. Shabbat's making $1 million this year, and his contract is $8 million of it now. 3 first rounders, the Isles, the Sharks, 4 twos. This hasn't been set. We still have to play this current year in real life, so we'll have to see what those Islanders and Sharks picks turn out to be. Hopefully we get at least one of those in the lottery. Of course, ours will be in the lottery as well, considering how bad we are. But you never know. But we should not be making the playoffs with the team we have. So that's the value. And of twos, a couple threes, 4 or 5. So minimum salary cap and maximum salary cap. Who cares? We're nowhere near the max anyway. Probably closer to the floor. There's Phaneuf. He signs. Phaneuf is back. The Ottawa Senators. We'll just sim through here. Cap compliance, not an issue this year. Waivers, whatever, don't matter. We're just going to do automatic scouting. It's way less time consuming and gives you a little bit of a disadvantage, I guess. Scouting, picking players you don't know much about, so it's a little more of a crapshoot as it is in real life. So we'll sim some games. Overtime win against the Leafs, and this year I think we were just gonna go through best lines. We're just kind of chunk through this first awful season. Next seasons, we'll go a little slower. We'll sim some more games. I think we just sim one game in the season, so this will be a shorter episode. This will just be this season. The next YouTube episode will be the off-season, the draft, which will be a big draft. In here you can see the prospects. Lafreniere is also, of course, the top. We also have Raymond, Holtz, Byfield, Drysdale, and all those good guys. Also some made-up guys, Green, Bodie, Markov. So sim through this year. We're just going to do best lines. Just try to get through this season as quickly as possible. So we're picking up some wins. We're at 500 here, 4-4. Just whatever, just going through injuries. And we get a few trade offers for Borowiecki. He's one of the players I think we're maybe get rid of if we can get a good deal. Trouble is, the computer doesn't give us a really big deal because, well, he's an aging defenseman. He's not as good as he used to be. We sort of overvalue him, perhaps in real life too. So yeah, so currently 6-7-1, game under 500. Connor Brown is our leading scorer, 9 points, 14 games. Let's check out the rest of the team. Connor Brown, Brady Chuck, also 9 points, as well as Declare. Shabbat having a pretty decent year, 8 points, 14 games for defensemen. Yeah, and there's everybody else. And we'll get back to simming. Kings coming up next. Yeah, we're currently finished. We've currently 4 points out of that last playoff spot, held down by the Leafs currently. And we'll just jump back into the sim about a month into this Habs game. Lannon takes an injury. He's down in Belleville. Another injury, Balsers. And yeah, this is the year we just let the computer take care of the Lions. So it wasn't a big deal, as we're just kind of tanking. We're trying to tank. 9-10-1 now. Tanking isn't going as well as we'd hope. Now we're over 500. A couple win streak. 12-10-1 now. So now we're in a playoff spot. Isn't this always the way it goes? You try to tank, you do well. You try to do well, and you tank. EA, NHL 20, that's how it usually goes. So basically, we're just going through this year, and of course, the major focus is on the draft next year, where we have 3 first-rounders and a bunch of 2s, and a lot of options to move around, and a very, very deep draft. And we hope to get Lafreniere, but if we keep winning, we're not going to get a chance at the number 1. So we'll sim. We'll just keep simming. Into January, into the new year. So to that Leafs game. Yeah, just go best lines. Win against the Canadians. Keep winning. There's back-to-back losses in Florida. Tampa. Yeah, just best lines, just chunking best lines. This won't happen in future years, as I said. This is just for this year, as we just kind of just to get through it. Okay, we're starting to lose some games. 19-18-3. But we're still hovering around that 4th spot in the division, where we want to be dead last. Detroit not doing well, as you'd imagine. Just like in real life. Yeah, so let's just keep going. We got a game against Vegas. Take the L. We need to see the draft class. We'll see a lot of it in the next episode for sure, because that's when we'll be doing a draft. Another Borieski trade we decline. Alright, hop back out. Brady Tkachuk is now our leading scorer. Currently 5th in the division. I think we're just out of a playoff spot. There's Brady Tkachuk, 13 goals. Connor Brown, 14 goals. Tierney's nice 12 points. Shabbat's having a pretty decent year, 25 points in 50 games. Colin White is up there. We have high hopes for. It's Craig Anderson, 926 with 235, having an incredible year. Probably the reason why we're winning so much. Fist shaking. But yeah, it's hard to be mad at Craig Anderson. Done so much for the Sens in real life. But he won't be hanging around this team too long. Maybe he'll play next year. Who knows? He's at that retirement age. So here, I think this is the game we jump into. Yeah. So we'll just do some highlights here. And yeah, we'll just go into it. There's our stats, 81, 83, 80. Oh, Brady, top shelf. What's his rating? You talking about Kachuk's rating? Oh, yeah, go. 2D, yeah, 2D for sure. First game in this series. 3-0. Shutout for Anders Nilsson. Not a lot of those going around this year, but the goalies are doing actually quite well this year. In our rebuild year. Oh, there's Brady. Oh, Brady. So good. So fun. So excited to see how Brady develops in this game moving forward. So there it is. 3-0 win against the Battle of Ontario foes, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Which is good, but also bad because we're Toronto Leafs. But nice goal by Brady Tkachuk there. We have high hopes for, who's part of that core along with Shabbat. The two untouchables as it is now. Shutout for Anders Nilsson, which is great. And yeah, we're still about a playoff team, which is not great. I'm not trying to do that. So we will head back to the calendar and we'll skip down a few weeks down towards the trading deadline. There it is. Date we played Nashville. Another Borieski decline trade from this one from Vancouver. Calgary. Decline that. Well, we think about it. Not enough. A move from a 3 to 4 for Borieski seems a little not great. Yeah, so they want. That's not bad. Move from 3rd to 5th. But Borieski is a good player. He's a good crowd pleaser. Brady Tkachuk. Leading scorer. Some down to the last couple of days before the trading deadline. More Borieski trade offers. Don't really touch the trade block that much. Probably should, but whatever. I don't want to micromanage it, so I don't manage it at all. So there's a lot of picks going. Montreal picking up a first rounder to Washington. Another win against the Leafs. And another Borieski trade offer. Basically, move up from 4th to 5th and a 7th for Borieski is not going to happen. So we decline this trade. Still about 500, 27, 27, and 6, which is just out of a playoffs. We don't want playoffs. So we'll advance the days and closer to the trading deadline. Just out. The Islanders are also out of the playoffs. I don't see where the Sharks are. The Sharks are in a playoff spot right now, but the Islanders are not. They're just out. So hoping for that Islanders pick to maybe drop into a lottery pick. And hopefully the Sharks can also buy out of the playoffs too. 3 lottery picks would be phenomenal. This is trade. We move Brown on. I'm just trying to... Connor Brown having a good year, but he doesn't have a future for Frost and Braun, defenseman. There it is. Connor Brown sent packing for Morgan Frost and Justin Braun, the defenseman. 2 younger players. So we got Zaitsev now. Trade Zaitsev for a second rounder to Nashville. As we try to get a little more from him in a second and a fifth. Disapproved. So we're going to have to eat some of the cap. Just so they can be cap compliant. And we're nowhere near the cap, so it doesn't really matter. 2 and a fifth for Zaitsev is done. Done deal. And we'll try one more. Oh no, we're just checking picks. So we have 4 2s next year. So we have 3 2s this year. No, 4 2s this year and 4 2s next year. As well as 3 1s coming up. So we have a ton of capital. We have more than the real life Sens do. So this is how our line's up now. Justin Braun moves up to the first line. Don't know if it fits. 80 overall, 33. I was hoping for a better chem fit with Shabbat. Fortunately, that didn't happen. Yeah, just trying to... And yeah, there's the injuries. White, Tierney, Hainsey, and Callahan all injured. And we'll advance. Another Borieski trade offer. Decline. Might as well just keep him. Maybe resign him for next year. So you have so much capital. A move from a 4th to a 5th is almost nothing. So I'd just rather lose him, try to sign him, than just shame him away for a draft pick that won't amount to anything. Dealing with some injuries. Now it should just be quick. March down to the end of the season. Hopefully we missed the playoffs. The Islanders are currently out of a playoff spot. Just best line it. Lost against the Sharks. Okay, now we're picking up some losses, which is good. 31-36 now. And let's take a look at the draft class. Laff, of course, tops. Scouts not really doing a good job up top. Smarkov, Holtz is elite. Raymond's a 3-star elite. Rossi is Stutzel. Connor Zary is Justin Barron. So Lafreniere is definitely the target, but we're going to have to get lucky in the lottery, I think it seems. I don't think we're going to get last place. Islanders are still out of a playoff spot, which is good for us. So we're just trying to end the season. Islanders 77, so they're about 11 points back of a playoff spot. The Sharks are out of a playoff spot too, which is good. Hopefully they can stay out. Check out stats. Brady Tkachuk, 18 goals, 49 points in 77 games. Duclair, 15 goals. Duclair's a little 24, so he's a young member of this core. Chabot having a solid year, 37 points in 77 games. Bobby Ryan, 18 goals. It's a decent year for him. He's making the money. He should be putting it into goals. So you got the goalies, Craig Anderson and Nielsen doing a phenomenal job. That's 921 save percentage each. Yeah, looking good. And that's. So we'll just try to finish off the season here. See what's what. Islanders way out of a playoff spot. We're second last, just trailing just ahead of the Red Wings. And the Sharks are, they're hovering around at 77 points. They're kind of hovering. They'll try to exit the game, but to no avail. I catch myself. So we'll just continue on to the end of the season. Last game against the Pens, 31-40. We're pretty much guaranteed to be out now. Good. Lost to the Leafs. Winning against Tampa, lost against Florida. And a win to end it against the Penguins. Here's your Ottawa Senators. First season, 43-43-6. Awful, but that's what we expected. Out of the playoffs, we get a lottery pick. Probably not as low as we would like to or expected it to. Brady Tkachuk gets his 20th. So he gets 20 goals in the season, 54 points. Solid year for him. 41 points, 16 goals for Duclair. Chabot, 38 points with 7 goals. Anisimov, nice. 37 points. Bobby Ryan gets his 20 goals. Schlappick, 10 goals, 5 assists. Dion Phaneuf added 16 points. Probably won't be around next year. Batherson, not bad. 12 points in 20 games, including 5 goals. And 127 penalty minutes for Borowiecki. That's why the fans love him. That's why we couldn't get rid of him. Maybe we try to sign him next year. Take a look at how the team did. Comparatively against the rest of the division. There's 6 in the division. Ooh, beat the Toronto Maple Leafs by 2 points. That's the 2 points we played against them in real time. So that's a bit of a shock. Always nice to finish. Well, I mean, we're trying to tank, but it's nice to finish ahead of a Toronto Maple Leafs team who should be a contender. Goals for, definitely our downfall. Last in the division at 2.23 per game. Our goals against, about average, but good for where we should have been. Our goalie is definitely standing on their head, Anderson and Nielsen. Strong performance. Craig Anderson definitely MVP of the year. Power play 15.3, which is pretty awful. And yikes, penalty kill, sorry. Dead last in the division. 2-8 in the last 10. And that's how we end the season. So not great, but we're expecting worse. We'll have a lottery pick, so we'll see how we do in that. And then we'll see how the playoffs go for the rest of the NHL. Events today. Yeah. We'll also have to check out what Belleville's doing. 3 games left to go. I think they're in a playoff spot, but they haven't locked down playoffs. Craig Wolanin, 8 points leader, 33. 13 goals for Bouncers, and wow, Scotty Sabrin down in the AHL picks up 20 goals. So that's a bit of a shock there. There's Abramov down there, 14 goals. But Scotty Sabrin, 20 goals, 73 games. For the Baby Sons. It's Bouncers, Brandstrom, who I have really high hopes for. Solid season of 31 points. Goalies, Hogberg, all of them doing great. Decord at 941. I don't know, 176 goals against average looks solid. But only 16 games played, unfortunately. So a little small sample size. That's what he looks like. Pretty decent. Pretty good prospect. But only an AHL starter. Potential, which can move up. Goalies I found are pretty volatile. Move up and move down a lot in overalls and potential. It's always good to keep around good young goalies because you never know which ones will break out, and you never know which ones you have that you think are going to be studs who will end up being bums. So we'll sim through the last 3 games of Baby Sen, see if they make playoffs. And win against the Laval Rocket. And last game, another one. Back-to-back 4-1 wins against the Laval Rocket as we make the playoffs. 4th seed in our division. Let's continue, and we're up against the Utica Comets, I believe, who had 12 more wins in this. 4-0 loss in the best of 5. See if we can come back. We do. 3-0 win. Tie it up at 1. Abramov with 2 points. Goal and assist in that game. Ooh, a 3-2 win. Bodan leaves with 3 goals. So advance today to game 4. If we win this, we win. Can we do it? No, we can't. 3-1 loss, unfortunately. It's game 5. We in it or we not? Big win here, big win here. No, 4-1 loss. And that'll do it for the Baby Sens. As their playoffs hope die after the first round. So we'll just sim. Let's check out the playoff tree. Buffalo Sabres, Tampa, Pittsburgh, Canes, Avalanche, Blackhawks, and Flames, Canucks. So we'll sim this out. 2 Avalanche, 2 Flames. 1-1s in the East. Let's keep going. Flames take a 3-0 lead. Canes Bolts up 2-1. Flames sweep, so they advance to the Western Conference Final. Avalanche up 3-1 over the Blackhawks. Let's keep on going. 2-2s in the East. 3-2 Pens, 3-2 Bolts, 3-2 Avalanche. So Calgary's getting a nice rest while everyone beats the crap out of each other. Some Game 7s going on. Oh, the Bolts advance over the Sabres. Two Game 7s. What do we have? Pittsburgh, Tampa. Take a look at the playoff tree. Pittsburgh beat the Hurricanes in 7. Colorado won at 7 as well. They'll face a very well-rested Flames team. 1-0 Flames. Of course, 1-0 Tampa. Let's get through this. 2-0 Tampa and Flames. Yet another Tampa Calgary final. Shades of LeCallier and Gilla fighting. Was it 2000? Was that 2005? Was that before Sens Ducks series or after? It's very close to it. I don't know if it was before or after. I think it's before, but I don't remember that far behind. There it is. Calgary, Tampa in the finals. Calgary the much rested of the teams as they take a 1-0 series lead. 8-1. Wow. 2-0. 1-0 loss. Or 1-0 win for the Flames. 1-0 loss for the Tampa. And Calgary takes pretty much commanding lead 3-0. Can they sweep it? And they sweep it. They do. Calgary Flames, your 2019-2020 Stanley Cup champions. Goes back to Canada. Lord Stanley. So it is. Calgary Flames win the Stanley Cup. The Manitoba Mooses, Calder Cup champions. I don't know who they're in the NHL playoffs. They're of Calgary. That'd be solid. Pretty a double. But I don't know that. So Sim up to... There's the draft lottery. Yeah. Los Angeles stays at 1. Anaheim moves from 5 to 2. Carolina stays at 3. We fall back from 4 to 5th. We stay at 9, and we stay at 12. So we had 2 lottery picks. We had 3 lottery picks. 2 of them Islanders, San Jose. So we'll be picking 5th, 9th, and 12th. Expecting perhaps a little better, but 3 lottery picks is solid, especially in this draft. It's a very deep draft. I was hoping to get like that one for Lafreniere, but it's not going to be. I don't think we're going to get a chance to get Lafreniere. But there'll be still others: Raymond, Holtz, Byfield, Stutzel, Drysdale, all those fun guys. Even the added guys are still pretty good. So there we have it. Let's check out the retired players. The draft next year, which will be next episode on YouTube. Be very informative. There's Marian Hosu, host of retiring. Yeah, probably my favorite old school Sen from back in the day. He retired. Stellar year. Actually, was inducted in the Hall of Fame in real life this year. So good for Marian. Of course, Zetterberg, Kunitz, and others. Let me just check out the goalies. No goalies retired. No goalies retired. Seems a bit odd. Coaches' retirements, they're not real people. So who cares? Chris Kunitz becomes a scout. And we'll stop there. We won't do draft class interviews because they're dumb. And I don't like them. So we don't do them. So, yeah, that's it for this year. Thanks for watching. Episode 2 should be up relatively shortly. Please subscribe. Follow along. Next episode will be the draft and the free agency. Should be a fun series. Seasons coming up. We won't be going through as fast. We'll actually be 7 games. Working with lines, working with Chem. Doing more trades. This is just a really quick introduction. Just to get through the first season into the draft, which is going to be the main focus of this team moving forward. So thanks for all for watching. Take care of yourselves. Toodles.